All right, gang, here we go. Market's been open a few minutes already, 8 minutes. So we're starting to get some movement now. Here we go. Bitcoin looks like it's starting to make a move to the downside. I was kind of expecting something like this. Actually, let me turn this back on, see what type of volume we're looking at. Nothing. All right, so no vectors yet, but I would expect Bitcoin to, I mean, if it's going to break down and still hold its aggressive move to the upside, I think it's going to come in and tickle this daily open. Right? So that'd still be consistent with this channel. I could come in here, bounce off it, and start working its way much, 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 much higher. So there are some headwinds. Traditional finance is selling off right now. Let's see where. Let's get TradFi up here. Where's the Nasdaq? Let's see what 500's doing. Yeah, a little bit of a sell-off here. Oh, there it is. It's ooh, all right. Oh wow, look at that. It's a nice little recovery. But it came into the 50. Yeah, gave a decent pullback. Which what time frame is that on? It's in the 1 hour. Let's get up on the 1 hour too. See what we're at. 'Cause I don't think Bitcoin has that look to it. Yeah, no, it hasn't given its pullback yet. So I could see Bitcoin following what traditional finance is doing here. Come in, give a pullback to the 50 even, like this. Let me get another tag here. I'll leave that one up. But like this here. Come in, test at the 50, and then get on out of Dodge, right? Like if we're going to see this go higher from here, we're going to see this type of pattern. Accumulate, and then just drop in, retest, and then bang. Should be fireworks to the upside. That's what you want to see. You want to see this move away from, where are we, in between the M2 and M3. Let's call it close to the M3. So you would want price to at least work its way up to about this line, 31.055 ish off of this move. Start trading around in this area, around this M5, and if you could do that, then you just built yourself another level, and working your way closer and closer and closer to the 15.5K bottom trend line. Right, so we're not even there yet. So currently, I think this price action, all this movement, I think we all recognize that this is news-driven price action. All right, this is the BlackRock ETF and all these other big traditional finance firms coming in and saying they're going to be custodians for Bitcoin, or they're going to launch an ETF like Citadel. I think UBS applied to be a custodian. So everybody's getting their ducks in a row and looking to take advantage of the next money making opportunity for them as their dollars get absolutely demolished in the future. So so again, like today's Friday, right? Typically you see a sell-off on Friday from traders just because they don't want to hold over the weekend. So you could just see that normal sell-off. If it gets a little bit more aggressive, I mean, we could start coming down into this bottom channel line here. Not that that's any particular importance, but we got a pool liquidity right here at 29.3 and another one at 28.9, right? So Bitcoin could come into these levels on the hourly, trade for a minute over the weekend, and then resume its upward momentum. And perfectly healthy too, nice accumulation point for on the pullback. And that would be the play I'm looking for, right? I could be completely wrong. This could just blast off. I mean, look at this RSI. It's forming a nice pattern here. It's swooping above the 50 read, and if these Stokes can stay up, see, those are the things. Stokes need to stay up over the weekend. They look like they want to reset, but you can still get another pop here, drive this up, maybe get it up to the yesterday's high before rolling over. But right now, I mean, the hourly looks like it wants to move up. Yep, 30-minute. Look, oh yeah, it looks up. Let's see what the 5's doing. Oh boy, hello. Thanks for playing. So yeah, it looks like we're gonna make a little bit of a move to the upside potentially here. If this can follow through. Get back on the 1 hour though. See what's happening here. Yeah, I'd fully expect at least though to come in and tap the daily open and then get going. So U.S. market's just open. This is what we call the Brinks box here, which is the first, I think it's an hour and a half that the market's open. So it's kind of sets the range. Right here you go, New York. When they opened last time, they drove price all the way up to what? Rip it all the way down and come right back up, right in your face. So this is the New York Open play right here. This is how they do business. And this is the last point that New York sold from, right here. Right? They shorted right here, dropped you, brought you right back up. Thanks for playing. We appreciate the additional liquidity. So here we come into today, and you may get a scenario like I'm suggesting that traders don't want to hold over the weekend, but they want to basically get a more favorable price to short, so they may drive this Brinks down, up, get it up here, and then do a similar play like this. Drive it all the way back down. My levels are somewhere right here, 29, 3-ish is what I'd be looking for it to come in and bounce if it can't resolve itself at the 50 or even the daily open. So it's got a lot of bounce points, like, to be honest. So I wouldn't be screaming at shorting this thing blindly, right? Have your stops in if you're looking to take shorts, because this is super hot, right? Like the 4-hour RSI that Tim was talking about. I mean, nothing's changed. Each one of these down moves, so as it comes back up again, I mean, we're still in bullish control. And as this comes up to get rejected potentially, this could then come in and price could just move up as it falls down in this green. So each attempt up to get above could create another high, right? So this is the 4-hour. So that's not happening anytime soon. We're angled down. But as we can see, like on the 30-minute, oh, there it is. It just crossed down. So for me, I've used the 30-minute for quite some time as the rub as to whether price is going up or down. Like, this would give me another signal to say, all right, I may be looking at shorts here. Now, I don't know how far down. I don't even know if it would be worth it to try and short this, because this is 0.6%. I mean, down here you get to 2.5%. So if price does begin to collapse down, right? Because we've got a we've got some crosses here. You know, the 5 over 13, 10 over 21. Those things happened on these on the smaller time frames, on the 30, but you know the bulls have just come in to just buy it up. All right, so they're keeping this elevated. But I don't know how on a Friday, after all these moves, after this big move, if traders are, I mean, I would expect them to lock in profits, right? That would be my expectation, would be to lock in profits and see price come down at some point. You know, significantly, I don't know. That like the deepest downside move I could see happening with this type of strength is down into this 28.5 level. You know, on a 30-minute, yeah, here's the 200 EMA, 800 EMA is all the way down here. So it may come in to want to interact with the 200 right here. Okay, so as price goes sideways a little bit, or price may come down throughout the day or before the weekend to come in and clip this area and then maybe take a stab. At that point, our the 200 EMA should be, you know, right around here. You know, so 29K. So, and then the principle of vector candle recovery. Here we go. We got a nice fat zone right here at the 28.5 level. So the next significant one is down at 27.5, and I don't know that Bitcoin's ready to give that up just yet. So, I mean, not that it couldn't, but I would be more inclined to go with the principle that half of this candle could get recovered. So 29K seems very reasonable to me to come in. These levels are here. You got this bottom trend line that plays off of these bottoming patterns here. This one, where it came and almost stabbed off the 800 EMA, and I think that's it. Yeah. So the only reason I come up with the line like this is I just pull it from, I make a copy off of, you know, some more established trend lines as price is doing its thing to just see what we can find as some support levels. But it's not that I have a lot of confidence in this line and this trend line in itself, not yet anyway. But it aligns with this liquidity pool at the M1. So this would be actually a perfect place. Like when price wants to move and go to a different zone, when market maker is serious about getting it to a different zone to accumulate or distribute, they move it typically to these M positions. So we're sitting between the M2 and M3. You could easily see it come into between the M1 and M0. So that would be consistent with typically how Bitcoin likes to move, set levels, and, you know, accumulate and trade. I mean, we also have yesterday's daily high right here. High average daily range is up at 390. We've got this is some serious resistance right here that Bitcoin's going to run into at around 3,100, right? So as we can see, Bitcoin made very short work. There we go. Let's not drag that around. Of once it got going, once it came in and made the move, took to all these crosses came in, bounced off of the 50. Once it did that, it made very short work of this local high, and this local high, right? It just obliterated them, but it did not get up here and touch this guy, all right? So this is where I think Bitcoin might, in this range right here, might have to do a little bit of work here to get through this area. So either Bitcoin's going to trade sideways for a bit to be able to rectify itself to basically get enough liquidity to push to the upside, right? Or she's going to start giving some of this back. But for me, the first place I'm looking is daily open. You got the daily open right here. Let's see if it gets tested, and you can argue. I don't know how close this got. This is the 4 hour. It didn't get close at all. But I can see price coming right in, swooping, maybe failure pattern underneath the daily open, and then just keeping going. But I'd still be careful. I'd be mindful of this being a Friday. The typical patterns that Bitcoin likes to make. All right, so we have rise, retrace, continuation. Rise, retrace. Are we going to get the continuation? Are we going to see it continue from this level and stay in this massively bullish posture? Time will tell. Let's see what. Is that a bit of a gap down up here? Oh, we got a gap down. All right, so traditional finance just put in a gap down at the open. Let me change this color. Use that for something else. Okay. So what's our pullback from here? What do we do? And we're getting below below the 50. 2.7%. Now, for context, 50 is all the way down here for Bitcoin. So, yeah, 6.5% to the downside if it wants to come and tickle the 50. I mean, I think the 50 will be up here at some point. I don't know if it does that on this 4 hour. It's not like it's going to put in a 4 hour bar and come on down here. I hope not anyway. That quick. But actually, if it does come in and do this fast, this is actually what you want if you're a bull. You want it to be fast. Fast move, fake move is the fake move. Have it come in quick, clear it out. They take their profits and they hand off on the weekend session and holds the range. That's important. You're going to want to see Bitcoin hold range during the weekend. You don't want it to just get in here, right, and then see price just collapse down. All right, so even if Bitcoin comes in, messes around with this daily open, breaks down out of this channel, comes in, tests the 50 in this area when the 50's here, you want it really shooting out fast. You want it getting out of Dodge by the weekend, by Monday morning open, or even Sunday night on the Hong Kong session. You're going to want to see aggressive moves to the upside. And then that'll let you know this is just normal pullback, very bullish still, and a retrace to the 50, and you could be looking at a fireworks display similar to what we had back here. So when Bitcoin made its move up, and this chart's going to get real busy, guys. I have a lot of lines on here, lot of data points. Okay, let's make it big, because what we're looking at is a very, very, very similar pattern here under the. I use the 800 EMA a lot. Here it is, this hot pink, right? Look what it did, came down, almost a V shape, but it got itself right out pretty fast. And here we go, the exact same scenario on a 3-step downturn, gets to this level, and that's it, bang, here's the fireworks. It is up, up, up and away. This is when it, no, this wasn't this was the first one it did? Yeah, this is a while back in March. So point is, this produced a 46% move from the 800, not from the bottom. I don't want to take it from the bottom because this signature is slightly different, a little smaller. It gave back 20% of the move after it did that over 61 days. So in a month, 31 days, it ripped to the upside to the tune of 46% from the 800 EMA, not the entire move. The entire move, 60%. But good luck buying that. Good luck having the fortitude to step in this environment, right? So, being a little bit more realistic with the levels, this is more the place I'd be looking to take longs. Down here, you would just be gambling, right? Below the 800, nothing, no indication that anything is going to help you get above here, except bang, all of a sudden it does, right? Well, you get some crosses, but you're still you wouldn't want to be longing there all the time. Like this, that's just not how you want to do it. Point is, once it got up and sat above this, here's the target, 50 EMA. As price comes in to retest the 50 EMA, this is the bullish posture you want to see. This is what you want to see happen. It touches this and it is gone. Never to return again to come near this 50 EMA bubble, right? What it appears like. But the point is, it's going to come back. It's going to come back and touch this EMA bubble at some point. Now, if we're consistent with how this move went back here, that could take 60 days to give. Actually, this isn't the full move, by the way. So right now, 46% would put it 38K. Get it above the 15 right here, which is the 15.5K low trend line, and then give it the opportunity to sit. That's what it would do on a move like that. Now, as you can see, when we go back here, how this move worked out. I mean, this first move came up, basically did the same thing here, right around the same level. Came up and then gave a good retrace. And then continued and didn't really make its high till here. Here's another retrace. So 2 retraces. This one didn't touch the 50, which could be this move right here. Actually, I don't think it's possible. And this one came in deep and went to the 89 before it recovered and snapped, and then gave it its last burst. So my point, that's why I think this line right here is going to be a little bit more difficult for Bitcoin to resolve and get over. So we may be waiting to the weekend to be done for that. So look for an Asian session on Sunday night. I'd be looking at this area. Wherever price is, this is where I'd be paying attention to, because this is the next local high that needs to be broken, right? Before we can start getting into the big stuff right here, this box. So then the next one is 22, let's call it 350, right? And again, that represents what, roughly 60% of that move, a little bit more than 50. So 46%, give back 20, another 46%, if it repeats. And what is this? Don't do that to me. I don't know why I did that, but yeah, you could be looking at something like this in a 3-wave, 1, 2, 3, and they're just big, long, and whatever price does inside of here, it does, right? But we're going to end up higher. But I'm with Tim on this, and this 4-hour RSI is just way too friggin' hot to be effing around with any serious shorts right now, on Bitcoin in particular. That's pretty much what I got on Bitcoin right now. So my feeling is daily open needs to get challenged. I mean, it looks like it might have right here. Is that close enough? Let me make the argument, but I think it's going to come in. I think it's going to come into the daily open at the very least. I mean, this plays with Tim's channel. Can bounce right on it and still keep going down, right? So my low point for a low side move would be right in here, 28.5-ish. Grab this liquidity pool, and then want to boogie on out. That's what I want to see. If this bullish posture is to remain, that's the type of activity I'm looking for. I'd like to see this pullback come in really fast too. You know, fast move, fake move. So if this can be pulled off quickly, you can bet dollars to donuts that it's probably going to, reverse itself, like just as fast. So we got a couple things happening here. It's Friday, so traditional finance, I think it looks like it's selling off. Yep, there it is. So gap down, start the open, and I think Bitcoin is going to end up following. So I would be paying attention to how far IXIC is going to go down here, and US 500. Let's get US 5 up. US 500 is holding a little better. And it makes sense because, IXIC is the NASDAQ. So, they are just overheated right now. So, with NASDAQ, you're talking like Tesla and Nvidia and all these fucking companies that have just exploded. These AI companies, like all this nonsense that got us up here. I really don't know. I could see it come into the 200. This is the hourly. So it may want to come into the 200 because it's already looks like it's going to take out the 89 right here. It's got to bounce now if it wants to remain in this similar posture that it's been in on these bounces. See, here's the 89 here. Here's a fail. Here's the 200. So if it can't hold the 89, IXIC might be coming into this range somewhere around here before we could see it bounce. Maybe this line, but I don't have a lot of faith in that line. It's nothing special. So let's take a look at total. I think total's going to run into a wall right here. This is my opinion. It already, here's the 800 EMA on total, and you need a lot of money. We need a lot more money to come in, and currently, all right, all this price action is news driven. This is all news driven. This is all because BlackRock announced, all because Citadel announced, all because UBS said they want to be custody holders for Bitcoin and all that happy horse shit. But these are just announcements, right? So, BlackRock probably didn't even buy a single Bitcoin yet, to be perfectly honest. So all of this is the old money, all right, from back here, up here, that's just repurchasing back here again. So all the people that lost, okay, because once it got down here, smart money's out. Smart money drained out of the market from here to here, probably here, all right? And we were left holding the bag because this is the capitulation point. This was the capitulation move right here. So in my opinion, traditional finance, secured the bag between, 20, the top, the 65K top down here to 30K-ish. Probably even before. So the people that are buying right now, I don't know, there's $1 of new money coming into this yet. Not a single red cent yet of the money that we need to push this past this 15.5K low trend line. So it's still just me trading some Bitcoin with you and somebody else that likes to trade Bitcoin or what have you. There isn't any institutional money coming in just yet to really drive this price higher. That's my opinion. Once we break this level, though, once we get above 30 and we could sit above this, then I believe that's when that money is going to start coming in. Or you get an announcement that BlackRock's approved or what have you. Then you'll know, right? Once the announcement happens, they probably would have already bought some. But this is going to be a campaign where they're going to be buying for the foreseeable future. It's not going to be one and done. And in my opinion, so if I'm BlackRock and I'm all these institutions that now want to get into Bitcoin, first things I want, Bitcoin needs to be trending. On Google search, people got to be looking at crypto, which they aren't. It's still in the crapper. So we can get some interest by driving price up, getting everybody excited, getting the bulls back on board. Let's go. Where's the moon boys at? And then reverse course, drop it down, get our announcements, get our approvals, right? And then it's off to the races once those approvals come in. So as you can see, this is the daily 800 right here. And it is getting checked hard right now. So failure on the daily right now as it stands. See how this day closes. But being that it's Friday, I could see traders wanting to lock in profits, like that's what real traders do. So I'd fully expect this for a nice retrace, and Sunday night for the Asian Open could probably be a banger if this plays out. If this rolls over, comes down, wants to even retest the 50. Yeah, because 27.5 isn't out of the question here, because taking the principle of these vector candles, they typically half of the move will get recovered, right? So if it were half of this candle was already taken right here, so they already came in and took that. So they may come in and take the other half on this move. Now, if they decide to go deeper, this is why I like 28.5 as my bounce point. That's my number one area on the downside to look for, and remain in this super hot bullish posture. But it could still be really hot and come in here, and then it'll tickle the 50, because the 50, you can see how the 50 is moving right here. So if it came down into this area, it would hit the 50 and then hopefully take a rip to the upside. So those are my thoughts on Bitcoin. It is obvious what's happening here. If it should be. This is the 800. This is the 200. When we go and look at total, which includes Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's tickling the 800. It actually made a failure pattern above the 800. This means money just pouring in, mainly into Bitcoin, right? I think Ethereum's been doing okay, but what it means is total 3, which is the rest of the shitcoin market, it ain't participating. It's failing at the 200 and right now is going to be in the fight of its life to get above the 50. And I say, why this fight of its life? Well, it's Friday, and I believe that these Bitcoin traders are going to just blow out a lot of their positions and lock in profits. You could create a situation where it's a rotation into alts over the weekend, but and because that doesn't take nearly as much liquidity to move, right? When you start getting into alts, they can just fly. So, yeah, let's take a look at some alts. Oh, look at that. That worked. OP. How you doing, baby? Playing nice. So OP hitting the levels perfect. Wow, I should have played you. Wow, what's already down here? That's all right. I could see OP bouncing off of. You got a fib. Yeah. 382. Huh. Maybe bouncing already. Oh, look at this down here. RSI is looking good in the 5. Crossing up. This could be a nice play for a long. Because this is the Brinks opened, New York opened, drove price up to give the impression that price was going higher, only to absolutely collapse it. So this is 30 minutes before the open, and they dropped it through. Now, what they like to do typically is bring price right back up through here, this range. I mean, this is stop on up, and then rip down, and just obliterate everybody that took longs here. And here's where market maker enters, makes his longs. Where does he do it? At the 200. So I would expect price to come back through, maybe tickle, get into the Brinks box again. Yeah, this looks actually pretty good. What's that move? Yeah, so 10x leverage play could get you 20%. And if you're lucky, you may get up here to $1.40, 44-ish. Start looking at this liquidity, but you're not going to get much higher. Like you can see right here, price got checked in this area because this was the last place that the market maker sold from the highs from here. So Bitcoin, OP is going to have to do work to get through this area. It did some already, so this is going to be the second stab. So that could be interesting. Could be an interesting play right here. Region to look at, because if it could resolve this and get through, it might take a move right on up. $1.47. I don't think you're hitting $1.50 though. $1.47, $1.48. High average daily range. Yesterday's high is up here. So yeah, you got no more local highs here. Once it starts getting up here, this guy will be dealt with. But this and this are probably going to be significant for OP to deal with. Trading, yeah, Gala. All right, so Gala put in this hellish wick down here. And look, if you don't use the 800 EMA, you might want to, because it tells a really good story. I mean, it just came down here and obliterated everybody in these longs and made mincemeat of them. And then it wants to play around the 800 to, put the fear of God in you, because it's probably coming back down here again. Reclaim this wick and then move higher. So this is yesterday's low. It's funny, weekly high. And all your psychological levels are down here as well. Yeah. I mean, your best case scenario for me would be somewhere up. Maybe this guy. 25.7. And if it breaks it, this is a nice move here. Yeah, it could just get on up. Get on up here, 26.5. But then this high will be an issue. Look at that right there. There you go. There's market maker at work. Here's where he shorted from. In size. There's the candle. I mean, there's the volume right there. So we know the market maker shorted from here. It's probably going to come back up into that range at some point. That's the 5 minute. Yeah, you can get it done before the Asian session. This is another decent play. I mean, the setups are there, right? Like, it doesn't mean it's going to play out, but you've got a strong support around the 800 EMA right now. So these are signatures I look for all the time when I start seeing this type of stuff. And even this, like, if you're nimble enough, you know, I believe this is a decent move here. Yeah, it's 1.7%. You know, I'm a 10x guy, so, you know, that's good enough for me. 17%. I mean, Gala moves relatively quickly too, so you can get that done in a few hours, maybe even in 30 minutes if you're spot on. But I'd be looking at that 800 EMA as my trigger. Now, the other thing you want to look at too is how does price, let me get this out of here, interact with the cloud. Because as it comes back in, you don't want to get caught in this shit. Just nice right through the 50 EMA cloud here and doesn't respect it at all. Because you can see how much lower it goes. So, I mean, the reason why I like this stuff now, you can see how flat the 800's getting. Yeah, it's not going to stay flat long. You got the 200 coming in. Prices getting squeezed. All right, in between two big EMAs on the 5. It's only going to keep doing this for so long. It's going to resolve itself one way or the other, and it's probably going to do it sometime today. Might do it this morning. You know, it depends. What time is it now? We've got not even an hour trading in yet. I mean, it's not as good a posture because it's sitting below both 800 and 200. Yeah, I wouldn't be taking longs on this guy. Actually, I'd be taking shorts up at this daily open. Like, if it came up into the daily open, or look at this failure pattern. But this rejection, excuse me. 1, 2, 3 on the what was this, 5 minute? Yep. So I'd be looking at this for price to, if price can get back up here. This cross happens, it's just going to drive price down further. And what do we got? We got some wicks here. Yeah, this could go down pretty good. Something like that. 185.6. Get into the M1. All right, what else we got? Theta. Now, Theta is in position to fall. You know, pretty hard. Unless it holds. I mean, if it holds and this cross happens to the upside. So here we go. Here we got conflicting altcoins, right? But I think the argument with Theta and why it's positioned more bullish is I think they're getting caught up in the AI stuff. Their video stuff, the metaverse stuff is getting a lot of talk again. So RSI looks good, staying on that 50. As long as it stays above that and it can keep bouncing, I would look at to come in to this 800, touch it and get on out. If it could do that, I'd be very interested in having some buys at that level. Being very cognizant though that it can just fall right through, right? You got to have stops in, but these are things I hunt all the time to take advantage of, you know, this type of price action here. You know, it wants to come down into this area, clear some liquidity, right? This EMA is going to come up. They're just not going to give you that cross, you know, for free. They may drop price in here to keep this cross from happening, right? Sellers. And then it's fireworks to the upside. So that's why I like stuff like this. You know, not here. I want to buy it here. I don't even want to short it here. Like for me, this isn't even. It's not a short situation right now. Why? Well, it's fighting in the EMA cloud right now to stay above it at the 50. It's actually doing a pretty good job. You go down to the shorter time frames. So, you know, Theta, for all the crap it's been through, is actually putting up a pretty good fight today. You know, I see big green candle right where you want it. Right at the daily open, acts really nicely. So, yeah, right now I wouldn't be looking to short something like this. But, again, go back a little bit on this 30-minute, and, man, clear as day, if price breaks down out of here, gets into this level, 69 cents, 70 cents, I get really interested because that's where that 800 EMA is going to come in. We have this vector candle recovery zone. Half of it's already been chewed away. Oh, they did it early too. Yeah, you can see it come in and nibble at, you know, half of this and then get on out of Dodge. But you have to be careful because what could happen is then we start pushing pressure down if it gets too far and this cross unwinds. Doesn't happen. And that would be spell disaster. Not disaster, but you know, you're starting to give up the rest of this move, right? You're not gonna like the bounces 1, 2, 3. It's over, right? You're losing that arc unless you're just making a bigger one. You know, so right here, there it is. So it came in here. It's not going to hold this. It can't hold this trajectory. It's too much. Even this is so freaking hot. The 30. Let's see what it does here. Just take that angle. There you go. That's what you're looking for. You can do something like that. And I'd use something like this as my guide for Theta as a bounce point. You know, because it's going to be consistent with this move that got up, held. You know, then at the end you get that retrace, bang. There's the fireworks. Because what happens is, in principle, this move down allows you to get the ribbons all aligned properly, fanned out, and then the rip to the upside. Gives you the full expansion across the 200. I mean, these are glorious moves when you can catch them. So, and the same thing to the downside. Look for the same exact thing. Ribbons are compressing. The difference is here, this is super bullish price action from all the news we were getting. Here, we're still in this bullish space, you know, and you potentially could be seeing a rotation of, you know, money out of Bitcoin going into some alts after this move to the upside, because the alts have not nearly participated as well. I mean, you got a select few that have popped off, but in principle, the alts are lagging. Let's check Solana. Wow, what a dog. In comparison, like this thing just did not hold. Wow, that'd be concerning. You know, if I was an investor in this thing, I wanted to, but it's a 30-minute. So now it's securely below the 200, the 800. There's no reason to be looking at a buy on Solana. I'd actually stay away from it right now. Find better setups. Time, I don't know if anybody's in time, but holy shit. Time to reevaluate. This is a nice base. Let's build a nice base down here. But I know people got involved in it. I was looking at it. I think I bought it for a hot minute and then sold it really quick. Because I could see it was kind of over. Yeah, I bought in like around here or something. I was like, this is cooked. But not a bad spot. That's the 4 hour, but not a bad spot on as a setup, right? So if you're looking for setups, this is great. You know, you just need to hold that range. I mean, maybe take a stab in here. You could have this run up to the 800 EMA. I don't know what that's worth. 3%. You can get this back. It's probably going to take another stab at this 800 because everything's starting to go sideways. So it's either going to come up and want to tap it. Trias. Oh yeah, good old Trias. This is what I thought Trias could do if it didn't hold. Get all the way down into here. But Trias has been holding up. Boy, wow. Made short work of that local high. Ooh, two of them too. It's pretty good. It's a strong coin, I have to say. Here's the deal on Trias, right? Oh wow, it's already above those. So it already made above those highs. Wow, made short work of that stuff, huh? Yeah, Trias could easily get up into this 480 range, $485. Yep. In bullish control, getting up in there. This is on the 3 hour. Let's go 4 hour. It's an odd time. But yeah, this 4 hour RSI is looking really good. Look at that. Stokes is up. Yeah. What you need to see. Oh, it's getting checked hard right here, though. Well, I think Trias can get itself in up here before it runs into some real resistance. Oh yeah, this range right here. These highs. It's gonna have to deal with. But once it breaks, once it gets through this liquidity pool here, or this vector candle zone, yeah, I'd be looking for a nice move to the upside because it has just obliterated these local highs. Wow. All right. What are you doing? So another similar situation, except XRP's fallen off now. It's got the 800 back down here for additional support. So as this falls, yeah, it looks like it's going to come in here. And this vector candle zone. It may want to try and bounce on the 800 here. You gotta remember this is the 4 hour, so Stokes is actually about to turn up. But it's got to hold above this 50. If it wants to do what Bitcoin's been doing and all these other coins, they were able to hold their RSI above the 50 or right around the 50 read, and not, get down too much into the red on the 4 hour. And the hourly is a little different, yeah. And this is what you want to see on the hourly. Get into the ring, get on out. So if this check holds, let's see what's doing on 30. That. Yeah, I don't like that little. Yeah, we'll see. Let me see if it can right itself. This isn't good. This big old wick right here. Let's mark that off, because you're gonna have some vector candle zones in here, I would bet. Yeah, you're gonna want ADA to bounce off of this if it's gonna stay up there. It is above its 800. Just slipped below now. So here's another, potential setup is to be shorting ADA based on how it performs right around here. So as price comes back up into this range, if it can't break through here quickly, so here you go, here's a perfect example. ADA came up in here, got stuck in the cloud, in the EMA cloud. Couldn't make it out, all the way back down to the bottom of the cloud. Now, what's this range? That's a 1.5%. So when you're trading like 10x or 20x, it's a decent percentage. So I would, price fell through the cloud. Right here's a perfect example. This is the candle you want to see in the opposite direction if you want price to go higher. You want it to knife straight through that cloud, close that goddamn candle, and that gives you definitive proof that this is probably going to be a move further to the downside, right? Which it, happily obliged very quickly at the New York market open. So, and the Brinks, they just ripped it up, brought it up to 29, and quickly dropped it down. So now we're struggling at the 800 EMA. Again, easy point to use as a reference to buy if you wanted to buy or sell at it. I'd be a seller of ADA right now simply because this price action is pretty freaking ugly. But I'd be a seller up here. I'd be looking for it to come back into the cloud, fail at the 50. Candles without conviction, this one faked you because this is a blue vector. It's probably green, could have been green for a minute or in the lower time frames maybe. But the point is this candle right here got people to believe that this was going to be a bigger move, which it was, but not before they reversed it and brought it back down to clear you out before they completed that move. Now, they just did it again. Like this is just a big liquidity clear out here in this zone. That's all they were doing is this was the range, and they're just spiking above, spiking below, spiking above, and then ultimately our move is down. So even here they played games right here. But yeah, I would look at an ADA short somewhere in this box, depending how these candles build themselves within this cloud. Right, that's the 30-minute, but the same principle applies for when you get down to the 5-minute and everything. If you're expecting this to get through the 50, these are the candles you want to see, like these massive candles, big ones. Boom, get me out of here, right? And close outside of the cloud. This is where they faked you, and then took it right back to the upside. Now we're trading significantly below the 50 EMA cloud in the 30-minute. The 800 still. Where's my 800 EMA here? Oh, I don't have one on this one. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's flat. So everything's flattening out like that. So, which means we're gonna have some movement at some point, because they ain't gonna stay flat forever. Ape coin. Good old ape. Oh boy, my stars. Well, let's get the 30-minute up. I don't want to. Oh yeah, it's way worse. Ape coin has just fallen out of favor. Look how far below the 800 EMA it is. Failure pattern at the 800. Ape coin is just not feeling the love. So again, here's another one sitting securely below the 800, struggling at its 200. I mean, I could see it come up into the 50. Again, pay attention to how these how it reacts in the 50 EMA cloud, because you could just be on another easy short to go lower and come into this $2 range down here, down at the psychological low. I mean, that looks like what it wants to do right now. Some of this action here, though, this nice spikiness to drive it back to the upside, looks nice, but if it's really going to go anywhere, it's got to attack the daily open, sit above its 200 EMA, and then push really hard. I mean, you're going to want it to see it get up here and sit and just start eating away at these zones. Otherwise, I mean, if it can't do it fast, it's just going to bleed further to the downside. Let's see what these RSI stuff. Yeah. Okay. So where other coins have been able to hold above the 50 read with their RSI, not Ape. You know, Ape's RSI is already in bearish control. And what's this? That's the 1 hour. Yep. You just pay attention to that right there. And see how it does. Now, this Stokes could just reverse here halfway. It needs to do it before, I think, like the 33 1/3, like the 1/3 line down here. However, if it does that, I mean, yeah, it'll probably push through this 50 EMA. If it gets checked again, well, it just means it's going to go further into bearish control, and you could just see a repeat of, you know, this type of action right here. But from here. Right, so as this comes up into the RSI rises, if it can't get above and start sitting on top in a bullish posture, it's just going to get checked right down. Either in this EMA cloud, it's not even going to get out of it. Maybe it comes up to, this isn't any particular trend line, but could interact with it and then reverse itself. So, Algo's looking good. Algo's looking better. Hasn't interacted with that 800 yet. Okay. All right, we got to give it a high five. You know what I mean? I think Algo, this is the 1 hour. What's it like to do? See you getting up here. I can see you getting into this. It's got to break. If you could break that high. Right here. You can see Algo 12895. If it could break that, this is a nice move. It's nice and bullish. So yeah, if it could hold this would be nice little move right here. But it's got to get above this, yesterday's high. And just keep on trucking. I mean, now on one of these retests, it could come, all the way down here if it wanted. Right, come into the 50 just like it did here. And get itself out. It could create a nice little cross situation for itself. I mean, this is double top territory. If it can't break and hold this is double top. And what they might do is exploit traders by dropping it back down after it tickles this to imply that the double top is in, only to reverse it as it touches the 50 and create some fireworks to the upside. So be careful for that. Ethereum. My, I have a lot of lines on this chart. So Ethereum, now, to give some context to what we've been looking at, look at how far Ethereum is from its 800 EMA. And here comes the 200 screaming in. So if the bears don't get this under control, you're going to get the 200, 800 EMA cross to the upside. Doesn't really do much, to be honest. Let's see. That's not true. That's not true. After this move down here, that cross produced a lot. But wow. Okay. So this is a similar signature right here. Yep. All right. Check it. So if this is the case, if this is going to be a big, broader move to the upside, I mean, yeah, we could be looking at, if that cross takes place, well, price is going to want to come in and check, though. That's for sure. You can see it. Yeah, but this is a nice move. This move by Ethereum. Let's see what it can do. I like this. Potential, anyway. Let's take it from there. So this cross hasn't happened yet. And there we go. There's a nice down move. Start that off. I like that. I like that little fractal. Part of the reason why I did that is because it's a very similar interaction on the 800, 200, 800. Dip below. Resolved itself relatively quickly. This one's different. This is inverse head and shoulders right here. Almost. So, didn't even do that on this. I mean, it came down and just boogied. All right, man, I think that's going to be it for me. But Ethereum's looking really bullish. So, yeah, if price can hold on, or if we see Bitcoin, decouple itself a little bit from traditional finance as far as the way it's moving today. Yeah, we can see crypto start moving higher. Oh, this is the other thing I was looking at too. So similar signature happened here, where price came below the 800. Here we go, and then we got the fireworks to the upside. But it was the curvature that I was seeing of CVD on where we are. So if you look at this, yeah, these are the same thing, similar thing. The only difference is CVD came from a deeper sell-off. Yeah, this could have the power to keep going, is my point, is on a pullback here. So we're basically halfway up. We're halfway up what this move was. So this was 47%, gave back 20. Another 43% puts us up here at 37,400, 37,500. I guess we should go to. But yeah, if this continues and repeats this, yeah, we're going higher. We can be up in here, up in this range. 35 to 30. That's Bitcoin. Yeah, to 35 to 37. And if Ethereum needs to hold that. Here's a good example of how you want price to react if it's in this cloud. It's not doing well. It's not doing well. It pierced below the 50. This candle needs to hold. And to be perfectly honest, this green needs to hold, and it needs to get out of here, or else it's going to get dragged down. And it looks like it's just getting dragged down, to be honest. Which might be consistent with this little fractal here too, in that it's going to come in, recover some of this, and then go. How much? I don't even know. I guess 1835 is a good, decent spot. You know, it might be 1850. You know, who knows? I don't know. ETH. But all right, that's going to be it for me. Hopefully I didn't ramble too much, but hope to see you guys next time. See you.